How many words do you really need to speak a new language fluently? Think you need thousands of them? Think again. In this video, I will discover the real secrets to fluency with just the vocab you need. And of course, I will share practical tips to improve your vocabulary. Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel, Monvie. So let's get started. Understanding fluency. Fluency in learning a language consists of two parts: the ability to understand other people and communicate with them fluently using vocab from different topics, not just from one. For instance, if you're able to talk about food with others in your target language, you understand everything perfectly, you can respond, you're not fluent in this language, okay? Because if you decide to talk about traveling, you will not be able to maintain this conversation because your lack of this vocabulary. As you put so many effort to learn all those 100 types of bread in this language, but you're not able to talk about anything else. As a result, you're fluent when you're able to talk about plenty of topics without any problems. Of course, I don't mean that you will understand perfectly everything in those topics, but at least you will maintain a normal conversation. It will not be like, oh, I don't know this word and this one. Let's get back to food, okay? Because I don't know this topic. Actually, there are different types of fluency. Conversational fluency, as I've mentioned before. Also grammatical, when a person can use all the grammar tenses in her speech and overall, her speech is grammatically accurate. Native-like fluency, it means that you speak like a native, even with his accent, and your speech is almost flawless. And comprehensive fluency. The best explanation of this one is when you can understand movies, books, videos of natives, like literally everything, even like when someone is talking to you, but you just can't say anything in return because you're not fluent. You understand, but you can't speak. For sure, you can combine it like understanding with speaking, and it's an ideal situation, but it'll be already conversational fluency. Why am I talking about all of this? Because fluency is different for everyone, and it always depends on your goal. If I can maintain most of the conversations and I call myself a fluent person, it doesn't mean that if you understand everything perfectly but you can't speak, you're not fluent. You are, but in your context and according to your main goal. And one more thing that I wanted to add. When I say most of the conversations, I don't say all the conversations because it's impossible to talk about everything. Even natives can't do that because they talk about just daily stuff, and specific topics, and they don't need those scientific words like for what. So the main thing here is to learn what you really need: core vocabulary versus extended vocabulary. Let's start from the meaning of these two types of vocabulary. Core vocabulary consists of the most frequently used and essential words in a language. In other words, it's basic vocab that you learn when you start learning a new language. And as for extended vocab, it uses less frequently because these words are already more specific. The main difference between them is that core vocab allows you to maintain normal conversations, to use basic knowledge. So overall, it's a foundation of any language. And extended vocab allows you to express yourself better. It gives a possibility for more detailed and advanced communication. Of course, knowing extended vocab, you become even more fluent. It's now, not just good, but amazing, wonderful, excellent, remarkable, fantastic, etc. Thanks to a strong core vocab, you can really become conversationally fluent. Because basic vocab is more used in daily conversations. That's why I always advise to start learning any language from basic vocab, because thanks to it, you will understand most of the daily conversations. Even if we look at those videos of natives on YouTube or movies, 80% of their vocab are basic and daily words. It depends on a movie, for sure. If it's a historical movie, for example, vocabulary there will be more focused on that, but I'm talking like overall. So if your goal is to maintain daily conversations, you should focus on core vocab, as basic vocab is a foundation. It will never change. As for extended vocab, you can even skip it if you don't need it for your goal. Extensive vocab will make your speech more fluent and advanced, but not everyone needs that, so it's up to you. And by extended vocab, I also mean words on topics. For example, animals, food, clothes, etc. If you know that you will talk mostly about food in this language, you understand that you should learn most of this vocab. But if you just mention it once or twice during your speech, like bread and cheese, you can skip learning all those 100 ways how to say pasta, all the types of bread, sauces, and all this stuff. It's better for you to focus on a conversational vocab. But again, always focus on your main goal. Don't learn something just because it exists. So as you got, there is no actual number of words that you should know in a certain language. It all depends on you and your goal. Practical tips to learn vocabulary. First tip is to learn all the vocab in context. By learning it like this, you have more chances to remember that phrase or word as you know how to use it in context, like in sentence. So you create your associations. For example, when you watch an episode of series and you notice an unknown word, check its translation immediately and add it to your flashcards in context. When you read a book or even scroll your social media, these are all opportunities for you to expand your vocabulary. Second tip is learning only necessary vocab. There is no need to learn all those words that you see everywhere. For example, top 5 English words every English learner should know. Learn that word or phrase only if you know that it will come in handy and you will use it in your talks with other people. Don't learn words about car parts if you never talk about that. And even when you hear that word in context, for instance, you watch a movie and you notice a new word, ask yourself, do you really need to learn that word? Will it come in handy in the future? Or you just learn because you want to expand your vocabulary with just unnecessary words, but your goal is to learn as many words as possible, not to really learn vocab that you need. So one more time, it's a question of priorities. For what do you need this new vocab? Why do you need to know so many words? Like, what is your reason for that? As for prioritizing words, I can say that when you start learning a new language, start with basic vocab in it. Usually it's easy to detect those basic phrases by watching natives on YouTube, as their language is mostly daily. Also, you can look for lists with adjective verbs. You can learn it if you want to make this process faster. But I always recommend to learn everything only through the context because it's the most effective way. Oh, you know what? With ChatGPT, you can even do that more effective. I just recalled that we have ChatGPT nowadays, so why not to use this amazing opportunity? As there, you can ask GPT to create text with all these basic words and then ask it to explain all of them. A prompt can look like this. Write me a text in French or in your target language with 200 words using basic vocab that I should know as a beginner in this language. And when you will get this text, just write, now explain to me all the basic vocab in context. By watching natives, you will also learn basic vocab, but it will just take much more time than these methods. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you soon in my next videos. Bye!